are back. Welcome back to Pro Bikini News Network. This format today is called Q&RA, where you give me questions, I'm going to give you realistic answers. It could be about anything related in fitness, bikini, anything you guys want. I'm here to answer for you. Keep in mind that I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to prescribe anything to you guys. Always, if you have something you're not sure about, and if you have a condition, always seek medical help and, get something from a licensed physician and someone who's board certified. With that being said, you guys give me some good questions. I'm going to try to put these out more during the week. I have interviews coming up and obviously previewing, recapping shows. So let's get to it. First question: do you think judging at the Bikini Olympia has an impact because of Fit Model? I want to say no. I don't think this Bikini Olympia is going to have any impact on Fit Model. I do think that what they were trying to do is keep the criteria of the division in line so that it doesn't look like, there's too many blurred lines within the divisions. I do believe what they awarded was justified and correct. So with that being said, obviously now that we have Fit Model, they have to have a differentiation of the other divisions. And I think, the conditioning, the size, they had to bring it back down. So it's like, it doesn't look like it's getting too overdeveloped. And I do think that, keep in mind, we don't have any Fit Model Pro shows probably until May. So I'd say around Pittsburgh, that's what we're going to have our first one. So, I don't know. We're going to see a schedule probably next week in December. We're in the last 2 months of this year for the shows. And, I wanted to focus one thing at a time. We have nationals coming up. I will review that. I'm not going to be so harsh on anybody in the amateurs, because until they're at the pro level and on a pro stage, then I'm going to critique them. But I try my best not to give too much of a criticism to amateurs. Let's see. When will you compete? I love your personal channel and your progress and your physique. I like that you're showing everyone that you're going through and everything. I do appreciate that. But when am I going to compete? I don't want to say anytime soon. Until my coach Jarek says that we're ready to go and you have a physique that's in contention to go for obviously a national level show and to do well. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to just bring a physique that's just going to go to the stage. He says you want a physique that's good enough to become an IFBB pro and be a contender. I think that's, even for me, it's like you want, you want to work hard, and you go into an NBC show, if you won your class or won an overall, that gives you enough confidence to go and say I can win a national level show, because it's different. National level show is pro level. And I don't want to present a physique that I don't think is pro level or pro worthy of a pro card. So, and I know I do want to compete. I do want to do coaching, do the channel, and continue to do all that. But obviously, it's going to take a lot more time. So I'm 30 years old. We're going to have to just wait on that for some time. But like I said, it's better to wait. And then when the time is right and you're ready to go and you're confident enough to win, then go for that. So, but I do appreciate that. Favorite gaming console? I don't play any video games right now. But I've played PlayStation, I've played Nintendo. I've kind of like the Sony, Nintendo kind of person. Like I said, I'm not buying any consoles now. I don't have time for that. I work, I do a lot more things. If I ever do get free time, never say never, might play something, but yeah, I'm not into gaming right now. Thoughts on Reta and athletes' plans? I've been seeing it a lot lately. Yeah, I have too. And I think it's like I said, I need to see enough of it. But I have listened to Corey Hageman talk about that, and I do think, yes, it can help you with appetite suppression, and effects for dieting, especially when those hard weeks come, when you're trying to bring yourself down. But I wouldn't use it almost year round. I'd use it just seasonal, like any fat burner, any GDA, anything that's supposed to suppress appetite. So as you have a diet plan, you have a certain amount of calories to intake a day, a certain amount of macros to hit, and you don't want to be tempted by anything. So you kind of just, I do see it a lot now. I do think over time it's gonna be effective, but I would say until I see enough of it, okay. But I have to understand how someone's body works, and I don't want to start introducing that into soon until later. I know we have evolved and we've gotten better at things, but I'd rather see it for a while and then decide if I'm going to add anyone's plan. I don't want to add something into obviously a novice competitor or someone who's not been competing for a long time because I don't know how their body works. I have to figure their body out. Like I think that's the thing with coaching is you have to look at someone's body, read them, and know how they work, what they like, what they don't like, and what they can tolerate. So I will say, never say never. I have to see it over time. I'd rather do something safe. I don't want to do anything that's going to harm an athlete or make them worse. Let's see. Who had the best Olympia debut this year? I mean, right now I'd say Victoria from Hungary. I mean, she turned pro, got fourth place, won her next pro show, took second, got 15th at her first Olympia, won a show this year. She just took second. I do believe she's still trying to qualify. She's impressed me. I will say this. I did not think, and even she said some post on Reddit where she felt like she wasn't even going to place at all and be like a fourth, fifth call out girl. But she is amazing. Like, I think she has such an amazing physique. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I'll show you. Let me go. I do talk about her in shows that she's in. So let's go here. So this is Victoria. Like she's got an amazing physique, amazing structure. She's taller. I just think it's her shoulders and just like filling out her frame and just obviously fitting the US criteria. I do think that if she does compete at US, she could fix. Another thing was even about this Prague show, her connectors and her suit bottoms. I would just fix that because it's like her connectors are too high and she has a V cut. But she's beautiful. She's an amazing girl. But I would say that that's be one of the girls that I think had a great Olympia debut. Another one this year, I will say, I do think Jessica Liu as well. Hold on. Pull that one up for you guys. I do believe that she's still in prep as well. I had her like top 20. I think she was like maybe fourth, fifth call out. But I definitely see her winning shows and moving up in the future. I haven't gotten her feedback yet, but but I can't wait to see what she has to do and what she has to say about it. But I might ask her. But I would say that those two probably had the best Olympia debuts for their first Olympia. Let's widen the screen. Let's go back. Do you eventually want to judge? I think you'd be great at it. No. I respect all those judges. And like I said, I always respect the judging and what they do. I mean, they've been doing this for decades. Sandy and Steve had been judging before I was even born. If I do compete and I do feel like I want to contribute and give back, yes, but I don't know if I could sit all day at a table, and do that for over hundreds of athletes. It's stressful, when they get off of finals and then they have to run back to the hotel room, get into formal wear, for the night show. You don't have much time. Sometimes they only get like an hour. After all that judging, they're like, I have no time. Got to eat something quickly. Get dressed. And to sit there for many hours for like over hundreds of athletes, it's not something I could do. I'm a very guy who likes to like move and like walk around and do a lot of things. But, I've always said this and I stand behind what I say. I could judge 20 in a division. I can't do more than that. Maybe 30 at most, but I've always said top 20 because I could pick someone out and I could see who's a standout in that. When you have 40, 50, 60, 70. I just can't do it. And to do that for 3 divisions, to do that for more than 3, I couldn't. God bless those judges. I mean, they do change who's head judged based off certain divisions and what they specialize in, but I couldn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm young, I give it if you'd ask me in 10 years, maybe I would think about it, and if I'm still going to be in this industry, but I don't know if I could judge. Like I could assess a physique, I could look and see someone's potential, but I don't know if I could judge. I don't know if I could. I mean, shout out to Bill. I even talked to him before the finals on Saturday. I said, God bless you. You judge North Americans from I think Wednesday to Sunday, like nonstop, doing all those divisions, almost 2 every day, and then Sunday you had a Masters Pro show. I'd be dead. I'd be dead for at least 48 hours. I mean, I was fried, even as someone who's a fan and someone who's just getting into this show. From Thursday to Friday at the Olympia or even at the Arnold, you're just like, oh. But then you have another week to go, and I just couldn't do it. Then you have to get like, all right, settled. I'm refreshed. Oh, by the way, you're judging next week. It's like, oh, I couldn't. Maybe if I didn't have much going on in my life, perhaps, but I don't know. But yeah, God bless those guys. Um, who do you see in bikini going into fit model? I do know a couple pros, but I'd say Lana Dunbar would be one of them. Lucia Malavaz, who is a top 10 Olympian in bikinis going into it. I'm hearing things about Alex Ross, who won the overall nationals a couple years ago. She's a multi-time Olympian, but I felt like she was on the smaller side. I do think some are going to try just to see how they go. Chantal Hill or Chantal Hall, Chantal Hall, I think, believe is doing it. Um, I'd like to see like Lauren Miller if she's still, active doing it. Casey Samsel. I think they have such amazing structures for a fit model. It's going to be great for tall girls as well. Um, I think Corey Hageman did mention it. I'm not sure. It's not confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I would say those type of girls who are like, they don't want that conditioning, those tie-ins in bikini. They could do that very well. Let's see how to work with you as a coach. What does your rate and plan entail? What divisions do you work with? So that's a good question. You can DM me, obviously, at Pro Bikini News Network or Coaching at gmail.com. I also have like a type form for that as well. The divisions I work with are going to be bikini, fit model, and figure. I don't go very high a month, but obviously I'd like to work with anybody. I'd like to see someone who's committed. I'm very selective who I work with and who I choose to work with. I promise any athlete I work with them, you do your first, national level show, I will buy you a suit for that. Because I want you guys to look good. I want you guys to look your best. I want to get into it because I want people to be committed. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like the person that's reveled as like the best coach. I want like the quality athletes. I want people who are committed and people who are willing to go through the process, not trying to rush things and have things happen too soon. So even me as an athlete, me going through it as well, I obviously want people who are dedicated and committed. I want to be a product of the body of my work for my many years, being a exercise science major, a former doctor of physical therapy candidate. Um, my years of training as a personal trainer since 2019, I'm still doing that right now. I'm still growing myself out. And it's just basically knowing how people work and knowing who's going to be committed. I just want to know, like, if I work with you, you're going to be committed to this. You're going to stick to the plan. You're going to be on time with check-ins. If you have questions, I'm there for you. If you're my athlete and you're from a different country, WhatsApp me, let me know. It's a lot, even with me working a full-time job and doing this. I just want to pick the people who are committed. And I don't go for too much. I mean, if I start to get too much, obviously with too many clients, I might go up a little by little by little. But you know, time is valuable. And obviously I appreciate people's time, money, and energy into anything. And I want them to be at the best. And I want to work with people because I could see what they need to work on, what needs to be fixed, and obviously getting feedback from judges and being at shows, being at pro level shows, being at amateur level shows, even natural level shows. We're going to actually have the Ben Weeder in about 3 weeks, and I'm going to be there and see obviously how the show goes. And I want to see the best out of everybody. But if you want to work with me, let me know after this. DM me, email me. I'll have my links in the description below, and we go from there. Okay. What are some things you like outside of bodybuilding and fit model and bikini? That's a good one. I mean, even when I'm not competing, even when I'm not, thinking about bikini and covering the division and fit model and all, I just like, I like, I like cars. I like art, shoes. I have over 40 pairs of shoes, if you could see right here. I have a bunch, but I'm very selective. I mean, this year I feel like the market was so oversaturated. I didn't buy many shoes. You know, cars. I'm more of a Japanese car, more of um, I'm more of like Lexus. I like Toyota. Acura, Honda. Those are kind of the things that work on. Subarus when they used to have the Impreza. Um, my first car ever was a Lexus IS from the year 2000. It had the Supra with the 2JZ, like the Supra from Fast and Furious. I love that car a lot. It was a 5-speed manual. I loved it. I got so many tickets from it. I was doing donuts in that. The gas was a lot and it was costing me, plus the insurance and all that. I never got into an accident with it, but thank goodness. But I eventually sold that car, and it sold very quickly because of all the mods I did to it and the engine, of course. And the ones they make now are not that great, but yeah, I mean, I like cars that you can work on and build out of. I'm not into, like supercars. I want something I can go and I can fix. That's kind of me. Like even with equipment that I'm working on at my job, I can fix that with Life Fitness with hammer strength. I know how they work. I know the right tools. I know what to order. Shoes. I love the sneaker culture. I was actually talking to Ben Quill about shoes, and we're talking about his Raptors. I'm like, we haven't had those since 2012. I'm like, I want the retros. We want some of them back, and we talked about Kobe shoes. Just culture stuff in general. I mean, I was talking to even with Aaron Banks, we're talking about football. We're talking about, like, I suggested the F7 helmet. I'm like, it's so wholesome that you're playing with your son, you're teaching him football. I've learned, when going to expos and going, to these meet the athletes, that it doesn't have to be everything bodybuilding. We could just talk about life and stuff. We could talk about other things, food, nutrition, sports nutrition, like pre-workouts, proteins, like crazy, and creativity. And I like to have more fun with certain things. I don't want to just be like bodybuilding, bodybuilding, bodybuilding. Have real conversations, talk about their life. How you doing? How's your family going? Being like that. And I've done that over the years, and I've learned that, if you're just bodybuilding, you're just a crazy fan for bodybuilding. No, it's just, there's more to life than just a stage. There's more than life than just the training and all. But I love it. It's my passion. It's what I enjoy. Anything that like gets me going, gets me interested. I'm always fun to have a conversation with that. How would Issa Piscini do if she did the 2025 Olympia? That's hard. I mean, she's on the list for 2026. She is qualified for life, but if she had done this year's Olympia with her last year's package, one thing that worried about me was back in April saying that she was going to do a 6-month prep, and I don't know how that would have ended. I don't know how that would have resulted. Like, to put, like, I've always, like I said in the recap of the Olympia, like, if you put everything into one show one time a year, that's a huge risk. Um, if I was to say her, let me pull her up from last year, because I have to talk about, let's see, Issa. If I was to say 2024 Olympia, which was the last time she was on stage, let's go to Issa. I mean, she's got her own business now with the food, with the restaurant. She's an athlete. So, but honestly, I think her Tampa look would have been much better. But I have to go with the last time I saw her, so I'm just basing it off of that. But like, if she brought that same physique, do this. Jennifer Page, let's do this. PC nude. Let's do front, back, yeah. So let's see here. In front, it's probably one of the best. So I mean, that would obviously have her in the top 10. But it's just in the back if it doesn't reflect. I mean, she's 100% on this side. That's hard to beat. So, but if I was to go into her back, it looks like being honest, she would be 10th with how, let's see, who's top 10 from, so you had Laura Lee, you had Evie, Vanya, Maria, Ariana, Reina, 12th was Jourdain. So, I mean, I would say I would put her like between like 10 and 12 at most. But honestly, I think she would just be 10th. And I don't know if that would be a physique that she wanted to even bring, but that's what I would say that would have happened. And I felt like she just wasn't all in, and it obviously wouldn't go for her. But I mean, I hope that she takes some time off and hopefully does a show early in the year, maybe middle of summer, depending how many shows are and what's up at schedule. I'm hoping. I mean, obviously getting to US is not an issue for her, but who knows? She might do the Arnold, but I don't know if that's what I'm seeing right now is going to be ready for the Arnold Classic. But we'll see. I'm hoping sometime next year. I don't know who's going to be coaching her. She left James, but I'm hoping she goes back to James. And she was working with Marcelo, who's a pro in Brazil. But yeah, I mean, I think she'd be like between 10 and 12. It would just be very difficult for her. Like, and how even with how the placings went, I just felt like top 10 at least would be the highest she'd get. Let's see. What shows would you consider to be tier one that automatically qualify, like Pittsburgh, New York, Romania? Tier one shows, like I'd say you win it, you automatically qualify. Like those five, I mean, and also you have to consider the Arnold and Dubai Pro, but Dubai Pro doesn't have any female divisions. So, in my opinion, I would have said Tampa Pro, right? Because any show that has at least open body, because that's obviously the main attraction. So I would say Tampa, but they haven't had the numbers that they've had in the past couple of years lately. So I mean, this year was really exciting for the Open, but for the other divisions, they had less than like 20 competitors. They didn't feel like, Tampa would have 30, 40 people in the division, even in bikini. And people who won the show wound up winning. It didn't feel as special as it did, you know, last year, even this year. But I will say a premier show that should be that should be a tier one would be Texas. What Freddie and Shayla's have been doing from Battle Out Productions, I would put that as a tier one show. The way they ran that one this year with the black backdrop, everything, it was like even my teammate who is in classic got to do it. He was top 10. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed every part of it. I would say you're trying to be one of the best shows. You're trying to bring excitement, obviously great prize money. I would say Texas Pro would probably have to be joining that list. I mean, Pittsburgh to me is going to be one of my favorites. I'm going to go to, hopefully, God willing, I get to go to the Arnold this year. But Chicago Pro, like they didn't have it. It didn't feel like there was enough. Obviously, numbers have been low, but I definitely think Texas Pro should be up there. Okay. What makes somebody, you said this a lot, what makes somebody more memorable, especially in a lineup with so many athletes? What makes them stand out so they're not overlooked? What makes somebody memorable? Um, Definitely someone who's balanced in a physique. When they walk out on stage, they're walking like they're gonna win. Like they're running the show. They're here to win. They're confident. You could see it. Like one person I felt like was really confident, like she was gonna do very well, was Reina Perez. Like every show she was in, she won because she was confident she was gonna win. The only one show that she took second to was in the mile high against Ashley. But this year's Olympia, I had her in the top 10. I mean, she was at 11th place, so but she's getting better every show that she's doing. But you see someone like her, when she walks out, she's smiling, she's confident in her abilities, like I'm winning this show. That's the type of person I think is going to be memorable and not overlooked. Yeah, she got in front of the top judges and she did very well, but when the Olympia is like, you can win all those shows, you could do really great, and then you come to that one and Steve Weinberg even said it best, you can literally shit the bed. I'm sorry for my language there, but that's what happens. But I would definitely say the one that's confident, the one that's balanced, the one that nails the timing of her individual very well. They walk out in the comparisons, they're confident in their ability. There's nothing where you look at and that's like off in their physique. That's what I feel like is memorable. And obviously I've said that you got to do your Arnold's, your Pittsburghs to really be the one that stands out. Pittsburgh to me is a mini Olympia. That's where the judges from the Olympia are at. And that's where, you want to compete at the highest level. Obviously, you continue to get feedback and see what works, what does not work. And, obviously making a name for yourself, don't just be a one and done. I always say this, we're competitors. You want to be a standout. You don't want to be at the bottom and, get lost in lineup. Put yourself out there. Make yourself well known. Continue to compete, even if you got your 2 pro wins, which is going to be the new qualification system. Continue to compete, see what you can work on, see what can be fixed. And so maybe leading up until like 12 weeks out, okay, maybe considered like just focusing, let's just say you're already qualified on the Olympia, but definitely be somebody that is well known and has done very well and continues to compete and bring different looks and improve on that. All right, here we go. Now this is the question that I wanted to say for last because I felt like it's very controversial. So this person says, I'm 21 years old and my coach told me if I wanted to turn pro, I need to have implants to do well at NPC Nationals or USAs. So what do you have to say about that? Okay, I'm going to try to be as calm and level-headed as possible because I'm looking out for you. I appreciate you submitting this question, and I understand. First things first, if a coach is telling you that, leave him or her. They shouldn't be telling you what you should do with your body. You're an adult. You're 21 years old. If what you're saying right now, you can drink, you could smoke, you can be someone's guardian, adopt a dog. If you want implants, that's your choice. It has no effect on your physique. I mean, your Miss Olympia winner and your Arnold Classic champion, even third place finisher at the Olympia, Jazzy, they don't have implants. They've done well. There are people who've won overalls this year and last year in national level shows that doesn't have implants at all. I get it because you see some of the top pros, obviously, even some of the top 10 have it, and some get them just to enhance their physique, but it's just for that whole purpose. Looks. It's for your look. You know, what's going to happen? How long do you want to do? How long do you want to compete for? Say 5, 10 years from now, what's going to happen is you might have to go back in and get it redone. Or, you know, I'll give it a good example. Courtney King, when she retired after 2017 was her last show that she ever did when she won the Olympia 2016. When she retired, she got explanted. I mean, Adela Garcia, who fitnessed 8 times, she had 3 Olympia titles under her belt before she got, you know, her injury, and then she came back and had implants and then won 5 straight. But when she retired, I think it was like in her late 40s, early 50s, she got explants. So you want them because it's your body and your choice. And no coach should go and tell you that. The OG bikini teams that are, you know, not as successful when it first started, and they're not as successful now versus when they first started. A lot of their girls were doing that because they felt like that was the only way, and it felt like that was not. It's you as an individual. It's your physique, your choice. If any athlete comes and asks me what I think, I'm like, do what you want. I mean, I'm not going to say, yeah, go get them because that's the only way you're going to win a show. Or no, it's like you want them because you want implants, not because a coach told you to. Your body, your choice, your decisions. You're an adult. I'm only telling you this because I feel like people get peer pressure, you know, and they feel like that's the only way to balance it. I mean, yes, it can help, and it can help you for that reason, maybe give you a little confidence boost, but it's how you feel like in your body. That's not going to be, I'm not going to get my pro card at nationals in December. No, it's what do you want with your life and what do you want to make out of this? So that's my take. If you want, like I said, if you are going to go that route, at least take time to find a right surgeon and find a right person that will find the right measurements for you. And, you know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a girl. I don't know much about all that and stuff, but I've always said, if you want that, you know, consider a lot of things. Also, if you are competing currently, you're going to have to change your suit size. You're going to have to get something, you know, custom to your, you know, to your bust size. So all that being said, it's a decision that you want as an individual. Don't let a coach, don't let your peers, don't let the top athletes, you know, try to convince you otherwise. Do what you want for your body. So that is all my questions. I'm sorry for that last part. I just had to say that because I feel like some people make a decision and they're gonna go and regret it. But I want people to understand if you're gonna go get it, it's because you want it. And that'll be all. So that's my Q&RA for this week. I'll have some more for next week. Guys, submit your questions in my DMs at taurusstringcoaching@gmail.com. I might also do a question box or a post on Pro Bikini News Network if you guys want to ask anything. And I'll put it up for at least a day, take your questions, and then, you know, delete the post. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week for my preview and recap. I also have my guest on, and I'll have my edits for that. Not this week or the fall, probably like the following week. So yeah, looking forward to the season. Looking forward to the rest of this year. And you guys take care.